The deep dive. This is where we take all your research, your notes, your articles, and really try to unpack the most interesting bits for you. Today, we're diving into the world of luxury watches, specifically one that seems to perfectly blend, old school charm with some really cutting edge stuff. You asked us to explore the Montblanc 1858 automatic date zero oxygen. And, well, it's more than just a nice watch. There's a whole story here about legacy, about material science, and this sort of adventurous spirit.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Montblanc, famous for pens since, 1906? But then they jumped into watches in 97, and the big move really was acquiring the Minerva manufacturer in 2006. That acquisition, that's absolutely key to understanding the 1858 collection we're looking at. It's kind of the heart of it.
Okay, so that's our mission for you today. Let's peel back the layers on this watch, understand how it mixes that vintage feel with modern tech, and maybe find some surprising details that make it special for explorers, for enthusiasts. Right, let's get into it. So maybe we should start right there with the history, Montblanc's journey, and how Minerva fits in.
Definitely. So the collection name, 1858. That's the year Minerva was founded. Simple as that. And back in the 1930s, the 40s, Minerva was really known for making these tough military and pilots chronographs. A lot of the design cues you see in today's 1858 watches, they come directly from those historical Minerva pieces. It's their DNA.
Okay, so when you say design cues, what specific things are we talking about? What should you look for that screams Minerva?
Well, you've got those really noticeable large cathedral hands. They had that sort of cloisonne design where the loom is set into these little outline sections, very distinct. Then the big Arabic numerals, those quite large onion crowns, you can't miss them, and the classic railway minute tracks around the edge. The whole collection, it feels aimed at, modern explorers, adventurers, maybe even divers to an extent. But it always has that vintage soul.
Right, that makes sense. But here's something important you need to know, right? While the 1858 line is inspired by Minerva, not every single watch in the collection actually has a Minerva movement inside.
Exactly. That's a key distinction.
Those Minerva movements, they're reserved for the really high-end chronographs, the top-tier stuff. This specific watch we're unpacking today, the automatic date zero oxygen, it uses a more contemporary automatic movement.
Correct.
Okay, so that covers the heritage, which is fascinating. But let's pivot to the modern side. What makes this watch, the 1858 automatic date zero oxygen, feel contemporary? It's got a 41-millimeter bronze case, but there's something special about the bronze, isn't there?
Precisely. It looks like traditional bronze, gives you that warm vintage vibe. But the case is actually made from an alloy called Cupro Aluminium. It's basically a mix of aluminium and copper. And the upshot is it's much tougher than regular bronze. More resilient, much more resistant to corrosion, to rust.
Ah, interesting. So you still get that cool patina, that aging effect everyone likes with bronze.
Yeah, you do.
But without some of the downsides, like fragility or corrosion. That sounds like a smart blend.
It really is. Best of both worlds, kind of. And beyond the material itself, the case design is thoughtful. You've got these slim, curved lugs, brushed finishing mostly, but with a nice polished bevel along the sides. Water resistance is 100 meters, which is pretty decent.
And the crown. Still that big onion style.
Yep, the large fluted onion crown is there, topped with the Montblanc star logo. And the bezel, it's fixed, not rotating, has this polished brown ceramic insert. It's engraved with cardinal points, north, south, east, west. And they're filled with beige loom. And a nice touch is how that sleek ceramic part is sort of sandwiched within the main Cupro Aluminium bezel. Gives it a bit of extra contrast.
Okay, but the really big tech story here, the thing I want to understand, is this zero oxygen technology. What on earth is that? What does it do?
Right, this is Montblanc taking something they first showed back in 2002 on the Geosphere chronograph and applying it here. The concept is actually pretty clever. During assembly, they use a special blue seal between the crystal and the case, and they basically remove all the oxygen from inside the watch case.
No oxygen inside the watch, so what's the benefit of that?
Well, think about extreme conditions. Big temperature swings, like going from a warm cabin to freezing cold outside at high altitude. Normally, any moisture inside could condense, causing fogging on the inside of the crystal.
Right. I've seen that happen. Super annoying.
Exactly. With zero oxygen and, crucially, zero moisture inside, that fogging just doesn't happen. The dial stays clear. Plus, removing oxygen eliminates the risk of oxidation over time. Tiny components inside the movement won't degrade due to oxygen exposure.
So it's a real practical advantage for someone actually using this watch, any elements, climbing or whatever. It's not just marketing speak.
No, it's genuinely functional. It enhances reliability and visibility in tough environments. It addresses a real problem for tool watches historically. It's properly engineered for adventure.
Okay, cool. Let's move to the dial then. The face of the watch. That's often where the personality shines through. What's the approach here?
Well, it fits right in with current trends. It's got this brown gradient dial, sometimes called sfumato style, with a sort of grained texture. It fades from a lighter brown in the middle out to a darker, richer brown at the edges. It works really well with that Cupro Aluminium case. Gives it a warm, earthy feel.
And the details. What brings that dial to life?
Yeah, the warmth is enhanced by using rose gold-plated elements. The Arabic numerals, for instance, they're applied, not just printed, and they're filled with beige superluminova.
That's the lume, the glow-in-the-dark stuff.
Right. It's a pigment that glows, in this case. It emits a white light after being charged by light, matches the lume on the cathedral hands. You've also got that beige railway track for the minutes around the edge, and the date window over at 3 o'clock. That has a little rose gold-plated frame, nice touch, and a crisp white background for legibility. And the whole thing is under a domed sapphire crystal, shaped like old acrylic crystals, which really adds to that vintage vibe.
Now, you mentioned something about the logo earlier. There's a slight difference on this model compared to maybe other 1858s.
Yeah, it's a subtle point, but one for the enthusiasts, maybe.
Yeah.
Many 1858 models use the older, historical Montblanc logo, the one, with the mountain silhouette splitting the words Mont and Blanc. This particular watch, the zero oxygen automatic date, uses the more modern, standard Montblanc inscription, just the single word.
Interesting. Any idea why?
Hard to say for sure. Maybe just a signal as part of the newer, more tech-focused side of the 1858 line, a blend of old inspiration, new execution. It's a small detail, but noticeable if you follow the brand closely.
Okay, let's flip it over. What about the case back? And what's sticking away inside?
So the case back itself is steel, but it's got a Cupro PVD treatment. PVD is physical vapor deposition. It's a way of coating the steel with a thin, durable layer that matches the color of the Cupro Aluminium case.
Ah, so it looks cohesive.
Exactly. And it's got this really cool engraving on it, Montblanc Mountain, a compass, a couple of crossed ice axes. Really drives home that explorer theme. Underneath that, you've got the movement, the caliber MB 24.17. Now, this is based on a well-known Swiss automatic movement, the Sellita SW200-11.
Okay, so a reliable workhorse movement.
Pretty much, yeah. Sellita movements are widely used, known for being robust and dependable. Montblanc uses this as the base and likely does some of their own finishing or regulation.
And the power reserve on that, how long does it run for?
It's got about 38 hours of power reserve, which is, fairly standard for this type of automatic movement, but maybe a bit on the lower side compared to some newer movements offering 70 hours or more.
So you'd need to wear it regularly or keep it wound?
Yeah, pretty much wear it every day or two or pop it on a winder and you'll be fine.
Okay, makes sense. Lastly, how does it actually wear? The strap, the clasp, and the all-important price.
Right, it comes on this nice calfskin strap. It's got a gradient brown color that matches the dial with beige stitching near the lugs, and it's interchangeable, which is handy. The clasp is a stainless steel double folding type. It also gets that Cupro PVD treatment to match the case back and buckle, and has a neat fine adjustment system so you can get the fit just right.
And the cost for all this?
The price is listed as CHF 3,420, that's Swiss francs,
Or
or EUR 3,900, and the US dollars, it's USD 3,695.
Okay. So wrapping this up then, this deep dive, what does it tell you about this Montblanc 1858? It really seems to nail that description. Vintage charm, modern tech. It's not just looks. You've got smart materials like the Cupro Aluminium and genuinely useful tech like the zero oxygen feature.
Absolutely. I think it shows how brands like Montblanc are cleverly evolving. They're digging into their rich history, like with Minerva, but they're not just copying the past. They're using that heritage as inspiration and then applying modern engineering, modern material science to create something that's both unique and genuinely functional. It's more than just a pretty face. It's a capable tool watch.
Yeah, it feels like a good example of blending past and future effectively. Well, hopefully this deep dive has given you a good handle on what makes this Montblanc 1858 automatic date zero oxygen tick, so to speak. You're now pretty well informed on this specific piece. Now here's a final thought for you to maybe chew on until next time. Thinking about your own life, is there some blend of old and new, maybe an old skill you could combine with new tech, or a traditional habit updated for modern life that might unlock something surprisingly beneficial? Something to ponder. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.